I'm in Salad, and I saw What Dreams May Come. It is directed by Vincent Ward, and guess who's in it? Robin Williams. This movie came out in '98, and I was not live yet, but my exposure to this movie it was requested by a $20 patron. Wow, I can't believe it. If you'd like to request a movie review, go to my Patreon. Also, my exposure was my adopted mom actually was watching this when I was like 9 or 10, and I remember seeing like a few of the scenes, but I didn't know which part of the movie until I watched it recently. So, my perspective on this film has always been like, oh, this is a pretty cool artsy film. I like it. I don't know the actual plot, but I like the concept. Heaven is just a bunch of paintings. That's pretty neat. Here's the actual plot, alright? You meet Chris, and he's got a wife, and he's got two children, Marie and Ian, and those two children, grow up and die in a car accident. It's sad, but, it's a very high reason to be scared of dying is car accidents, because there are a lot of them, especially in the United States. And then, even like 4 years later after that, she gets hit again with Chris dying, and Chris dies in like a weird way. First of all, I don't think Chris should have got out of his car, but he goes out of his car because he sees like a collision in a tunnel. He goes out, and then he sees like a bunch of cars flying, and his immediate reaction was not to just run. It was just stand there, and he gets what he deserves when he gets hit by a truck. And that's not good. Getting hit by a truck, not ideal. But you know what is ideal? Hey, you're kind of now dead. You're stuck on heaven. You're being followed, I guess, or guided. I think guided is the proper term. You're being guided by a guy who's kind of blurry. He's like, hey, welcome to death. Welcome. We humbly welcome you in the afterlife. Since you've been a good boy, you get into heaven. Also, you have to let her go. You have to be letting her go, or else, it's gonna make her sad, you being there. She could feel your presence and feel the fact that she's so sad without your presence. She's still coping. Let her cope. And he tries to, hug her, like a nice cutesy little hug, and she starts bawling her eyes out. And it's like, at this point, I'm like, oh man, this is so sad. What if this happened to me? What if heaven was like this? And I died, and you got, Riley's still there, and all he could do... Well, actually, I think it would be opposite. If he were to die, I would still be painting, and he'd see all the art that I would do in heaven. And it would be kind of sweet, right? But also be very sad. Especially because it's like, oh, someday I'll have to feel this pain. Right now I don't, but someday I will, and it'll mean a lot more to me in 20 or 30 years, whenever spousal death happens. So, he's traversing the land of heaven. His heaven is a bunch of her paintings, including this one really cool painting that he likes a lot, where you see a guy standing underneath a tree, and you also see a parallel shot of the guy underneath the tree, and it's like, aw yeah, let's go, I like it, more paintings please. And she do be painting more, but then she do be like, oh no, he's not alive, so she dumps all the alcohol or whatever paint thinner, then it goes drip. And honestly, I think some of the trees should have stayed there, but in heaven, all the trees go fly, and it's like, oh man, only some of the trees went dripping down the canvas. Oh, come on, man. I guess it's the action that really matters, because you're losing all your leaves, even though not all the leaves are gone on the canvas in the real world. Oh, man. It's quite a sad sight. But we also do see, we figure out who his daughter is. It's the woman that, like, helps her, that helps him try to, like, find his kids. Like, oh, where are my children at? It's like, oh, here's your dog. Someone that looks like a dog. One of your dogs, you know? Here's a bunch of people. Here your children would be. And he's like, oh, you're my daughter, aren't you? Yeah. This is what I would look like if I stayed alive and you were proud of me, which you are, so that's great, cool, you're here. Also, you know that other guy, Alfred or whatever his name is, he's your son. He's Ian. What a cool prank you got here, bro. Man, crazy stuff, huh? But also, you know, the sad news happens. His wife was not able to handle the bear of pain, so she gave up and she committed the Sudoku. She didn't finish her entire Sudoku puzzle, and now she's stuck in hell. HE double hockey sticks, as Fred might call it 10 years ago, when that was still a thing. And awesome, you know what's awesome? His reaction. Chris's reaction's like, no, she's a good person. She has to be here in heaven right now because she's like one of the goodest ones ever. I'm going to save her. Here's like the real thrust of the plot. It's like, hey, I'm gonna save her, and then like this guide dude, you got Alfred / his son, and him eating this like old dude in an alleyway, and the old dude's like, oh, you can't return back from hell. You can only, I'll send you a voyage to this crazy place called HE double hockey sticks. And you know what's awesome about it? We're going to go on this boat. And it's a boat full of souls. And souls are trying to drown the boat. They do be drowning the boat, but they do escape. And look at they're at the gates of hell. It's all fiery. He was telling him, oh, it's not fiery, actually. But it's like, it is fiery. What are you doing? Come on, you just lied. I mean, I guess he's saying that heaven itself is not, like, super fiery, but the gates of heaven, the gates of hell it's just like fire, and there's like a bunch of screaming and moaning, and it's not fun, and why would anyone want to go here? Except for, if they're bad people, which is very deserved. Alright, so, he's crossing into the threshold of hell, and he's trying to find his wife, and his wife is, like, in this sea of faces. He goes to try to grab the wife, but then he falls through, and then he locates his wife, and guess what? The wife doesn't remember him. What a sad tragedy, by the way. You go from heaven, which has beautiful paintings, your dog's there that you had to put down 4 years ago, or whatever the heck you had to put it down, to now you're in hell, and your wife doesn't even know you. And you know what's awesome? So the old man, like, after, he's, like, trying to convince her, like, yo, you know me, blah, 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 all this stuff, lovey-dovey stuff. He's like, alright, I give up. I'm gonna stay here with my wife. And it's like, oh, that's awesome. You love your wife that much that you're going to spend eternity in the entirety of hell forever. You know how long that is? It's an inconceivable amount of time because it doesn't exist, because time is made up. It's just a bunch of organizations to put numbers on the thing so humans can go fast and go big. Awesome. You know what's also awesome? That time doesn't exist in heaven / hell. So you're just gonna be stuck there forever. And it's gonna suck for you, and you have no way of escaping it. But he says a thing. He keeps saying, don't give up. That's like the ultimate message of the movie. Don't give up, don't give up. And so the wife's like, alright, I remember this thing that you told me. I know who you are, and also I'm taking you back to heaven. And you know, it's really sweet. It's like, it's right in the nick of time, because there's like a time limit into getting into staying stuck in hell. You can only be there for a short amount of time if you want to avoid being stuck there. It's only a one-way ticket, baby, unless you're there for a short amount of time. And she's like, all right, time window is closing. I gotta take him to heaven. It goes to heaven, and guess who he finds? The beautiful, beautiful dog. Their beautiful dog. And also the son's there. And it's like, this is so beautiful. They get to be in heaven forever. This is awesome. I love it. Also, they're like, hey, what do you think about reincarnation? Hey, that's pretty cool. Let me try that. How would I know that I'd be with you during the entire life? Well, I know that this happens, so you know what that means? I'm going to stick with you for my entire life. And then they get reincarnated, and they're like children on a dock, and they're playing with boats, and one of the boats falls over, and one of them, they're giggling at each other, and the girl, she gives the guy peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. A true mark of a successful, long-lived relationship is peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And that's the end of the movie. What a good film. I enjoy this film because the graphics were cool. The way that he was going through the paint was pretty neat, just like pretty much initially, and then everything got turned into real life because the budget ran out. But, well, that's a joke. I don't know if the budget actually ran out. But it's fun because it's like, the stuff that they had is cool, and they used it in the cool way. And it's pretty rad, and I'm excited for more CGI everywhere. I want more CGI, more cool CGI. Bring it to me. Bring it here. Gimme, yum, yum, yum. CGI in my mouth. Nom, 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 nom. CGI. It's so delicious, nutritious, that I just want it everywhere. And so I gotta give this movie a solid 6.9 out of 10. If you like that content and more content at patreon.com/ASEpresents for $3 a month, you get some daily vlogs plus some extended mint salad sauce. $20 a month, you get one review per 1 month. So go check out my patreon.com/ASEpresents. All other links to support me are in the link tree down below. It's in the description, and it's also here too. And also, I'm responding to all fan DMs on my fansly.com/itsmintsalad. Until next time, I'm in Salad Saw. I'll see y'all later, my salad croutons and bacon bits.